All right, my friends. So once again, welcome to all of you for this insightful Instagram live session. And today we are, diving deep into the fascinating topic of why do people feel stuck in their healing journey. And today's speaker is a wonderful person, a wonderful personality who's empowering people through so many years. And none other than Sreevardane Sivankar, a renowned functional medicine practitioner and mentor. And my friend, if you ever felt like you are hitting a wall in your wellness or struggling like to make progress despite you like lot of efforts, your best efforts, I should say, then this session is very important for you. So Sri Vardhane will actually shed light on why these blocks happen and how we can identify and move move them away to achieve lasting transformation. So be here till the end, and it's going to be an eye-opening session for you, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
just be ready to unlock your insights and to redefine your healing journey, right? So let's move into this, and with this, I welcome Sri Vardhane to the show. So welcome to the show, and thank you so much for accepting the proposal.
Absolutely. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you for having me. So you can call me Shreev. That's easier. I know my name is a little bit tricky to say. So it's actually pronounced as Sreevardane, but you can call me Shree. I'm sure it's the same tongue twister for everyone out there trying to figure out my name. But yes, but thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm excited to be here. And I'm sure if somebody's listening here, they're meant to be listening to this one and then they're going to gain some perspective shift or something that's just going to change the way they see their healing. So, and I would love to hear from people if they are live here to ask questions or just get interacting because that's the point of us coming here and sharing our insights. So I'm looking forward to
Wonderful.
this. So a little bit about me. I'm a functional medicine practitioner and mentor. So I started as a health coach and then I pivoted to functional medicine, and the love for learning never stops. Like how you said, once you entered NLP, you couldn't stop. So similarly, once I discovered functional medicine, like I couldn't stop. Like I have like four different degrees in functional medicine. So in the shortest amount of time, like sometimes it's unbelievable for people how I've learned so much and how I'm able to like bring so much transformation for my clients. And people think I've been doing this for decades. I've actually been only doing it for less than 5 years, but I think it's a passion and the willingness to learn. So I am a researcher. So I don't settle until I find some answers. So I think that's what has helped me come to this point where I typically focus on helping my clients put their chronic conditions into remission, especially autoimmune conditions, or specifically like mystery symptoms where people have been running from doctor to doctor, practitioner to practitioner, nutritionist to nutritionist. Like they're trying so many things, but none of they're not able to find really what is wrong, but they don't clearly feel well. That's my kind of like my ideal client profile because if you're not feeling well, then there is a reason behind it, even though it is not visible to the expert or the practitioner. At the end of the day, you're the expert of your body, right? So if you think something is wrong, then you're absolutely right. So and right now I've also started mentoring practitioners who want to create similar impact in the world. So this is in a nutshell, but coming back to the topic that we are on to today, because
Yeah.
I prefaced it with the type of clients I work with because that is to say, like day in and day out, I hear so many people like read DM me and tell me that they've been looking for answers for decades, years, ages, and sometimes to be fair, people are willing to do the work. They're trying a lot of things, but they're not seeing results, and it can feel like they are in a never-ending cycle where they're doing a lot not getting results and can be frustrating and disappointing. So I want to address why people feel stuck. And sometimes, with my experience of seeing hundreds and hundreds of clients, they've been looking for answers everywhere. Nothing seems to shift. And once we start working, we dig deep into the root causes, and like actually not just seeing on the labs, but of what this person, who is this person, what is their lifestyle, like what are the beliefs, what are the what do they believe is true for themselves. All of those things, when people talk about themselves, it tells me a lot about who they are, why they are here, how did they get in this spot. So I think just connecting those dots helps them solve problems that they've been trying to unlock for decades, even with the most famous practitioners in specific countries. So I've heard so many people tell me I've been to top Ayurvedic specialists in the country, top homeopathic specialists in the country. So,
Right.
and from my experience, I've gathered some patterns to see where people really get stuck and what's really keeping them stuck. So the number one reason that I would say, now there are multiple reasons. The number one reason that I would say is that sometimes people keep jumping from one modality to the other without actually giving their body or mind the time it needs to take in the things that they are doing. Like sometimes this is, I also call this as shiny object syndrome. You're like the next best thing. You're constantly seeking something outside of you. And in that, if you are in that cycle, it's never going to really get you to the place where you're actually finding solution. You're not in a solution seeking mode. You're constantly trying to put out the fires and the battle. Oh, what if this doesn't work? Oh, maybe this will not work. Maybe the next one. Okay, somebody else got this results with that thing, so maybe that is the best thing for me. So I think the best thing for a unique person is what they are able to do something without giving up, and that they're able to do sustainably over a period of time, so that it allows their body to actually change at physical, physiological and emotional level. Sometimes, yes, I agree, magic happen, miracles happen, healing can happen in a fraction of a second, but sometimes it can take months, it can take weeks. We have to let the body do its job. Now that sometimes people think their case is like a one off, there is no solution because nobody has been able to help them, and I think that is also a thought that is keeping them stuck. Because if you think about it logically, the body wants to heal. Like if you get if there is a knife that like just cut you a little bit, you start bleeding, and you don't, yes, of course we try putting a band-aid or something on it, but you don't have to do anything externally to make that wound heal. The wound healing app happens by itself, right? So the body has a self-healing mechanism. It's going to do its job. But however, imagine if every day, instead of letting that wound heal, you're taking a scissors and poking on it every day. Who is it? Then at this point, you're interfering with the body doing its natural course of action. Now, this is a simple example where, like, this is the most simplest example that people can understand. But this can be true for so many diseases and so many symptoms where the body is trying to do its job, but we, due to our external circumstances, environments, foods, the limiting beliefs, thoughts, the toxins that we put into our body, etc., we are kind of interfering with those symptoms. And the next thing that I also want to say when you're talking about symptoms is that symptoms are there for a reason. Symptoms are there to tell us that something is wrong. Hey, please pay attention. And that's the only way body can actually communicate with us. So symptoms are good because it's telling us what we can't see, because we don't have a scan that we can, like, every day in and day out, we can see what's going on inside. So the body is going to automatically respond in the form of symptoms. So what do we do with those symptoms is left up to us, because that's our body asking for help or telling us something is out of balance. And or even things like trauma and adaptive, body adapts to what. So typically symptoms happen especially in terms of an emotional disturbance or traumatic event. What our brain body cannot decipher or change outside, we try to internalize it, and we try to form that adaptation within our body, because we're not able to alter that external circumstance. So that's
Yeah.
also a reason why we develop those symptoms. So now we have to ask the question why the symptom is there, and how did we get to this place to begin with. Because if we are not born with a disease, unless it's a genetic mutation or something of that sort, then absolutely everything is solvable. Even though modern science might make it believe that it's not possible, etc., I do believe like the body is 100% self healing. But of course, we have to get things away that are getting in its way of doing its job. And then now, day in and day out, we do a lot of things that actually get in its way. So if something happened to you like 10 years back, 15 years back, the question should be what happened in your life just before that happened. So this is again, so if people are feeling like nothing, nobody has been able to solve the problem, it's just because they have not find the they have not found the right person, or probably they have not asked the right questions. Because
Right.
it's not just about complex, like human beings are complex. It's not just the body in itself is so complex. We've only understood a portion of it. There is still so much science will uncover, and something that science may not even fathom. So there is something that's beyond our human perception and our understanding at this point. So we have to allow that magic to be, but at the same time ask the right question so that we don't feel like we are chasing the wrong thing, right? So if you're not found answers yet, then it's a sign that you're probably chasing the wrong things, or you're not probably like doing the job that you need to do to help it like kind of undo the damage, or like giving your body and your mind the patience to do its healing, like jumping from one thing to the other. So that's one part of it. But I also want to talk about the cellular aspect of it, if we want to get a little bit sciencey. So everything, there are only three key reasons for any disease in the body. Either it's stress. Now, when I say stress, most people will think, oh, I'm not stressed because it's only about I don't have career stress or financial stress, or my family is good, my children are good, I'm happy, there is no stress. But stress is not just about these things. This is, yes, a form of mental emotional stress. But stress to your body is also unaddressed infections, unaddressed inflammation, under eating chronically for a long period of time, over exercising in the name of health. Too much of anything is not good. So similarly,
Yeah.
not sleeping like at least 7 to 8 hours every night. So this once or twice the body will be able to handle it. But if this is a chronic problem, then that in itself is a huge source of stress to the body. Now, again, eating food in a hurry, not allowing your body to really digest that meal, because the body cannot like really stay in a state of stress and also digest. We are either fighting for
Yeah.
life, or either we are resting and digesting. The both cannot coexist at the same time. So these are
That's
all
right.
like hidden sources of stress. And of course there is unaddressed trauma and childhood trauma, PTSD and things like that, or subconscious beliefs that we hold on to that sabotage us. But these are just few of
Exactly.
the things. But also things like anger, resentment, loneliness, like lack of purpose and meaning in life. Those things like eat us little by little. But this is also a source of stress, because all of these things, they bring up an emotion or feeling, and the nervous system kinds of understands that without any verbal communication language. So there is no way we are going to kind of fake our nervous system into believing that we are happy and healthy and safe if that's not actually true for us. So, and if we are thinking about an incident that happened like say 10 years back, and we are able to feel the same feelings that we had 10 years back, then we are bringing it alive even though it's not alive in our reality, right?
Right.
It's just the mind bringing up stuff. So that is the level of, so again, that to your body, if it happened 10 years back or if it's happening right now, it does not know. It only knows that we are having the same visceral reaction that we had back then. Now that's a sign that we are still holding on to that thing that happened decades ago and keeping it alive in our body, alive in our nervous system. And that in itself is a huge source of stress. And when we are in the source of stress, there's no way body is going to heal. Either the body can run from an animal and protect itself, or it can rest, relax, sleep under a tree and eat food. So
All right.
yeah, you have any question?
Okay, with this, I just welcome all the audience who are here. My coach Arif, Gargi, Smiling Bubbles, Commerce Rama, and Sohil. So, thank you everyone for joining here. And friends, we are open for questions. If you have any question, please do ask in the comments, and you will get the answer from Shri. She is an expert in giving the answer. If you want the healing, if you want to heal yourself, if you are in a stuck state and you actually want to come out of that using the healing modalities, then Sri is the best person for that, and you will get the answer. So with this, Sri, I got a question here,
Yeah.
like how important is self-awareness in the journey of healing?
So there are three phases, right? We can't really heal anything that we are not aware about. So awareness, then acceptance, then action. So we need to be first aware that something needs help or support. So some people, if they are not aware, even if you go tell them that, hey, you need inner child healing or you need Reiki, they might not say yes, because they're not in a place where they are aware that they, first of all, they have a problem or they need help, and then there is a solution that exists, right? So people need to um, take their own initiative. That's when actually true healing happens. Just because I'm forcing my mother or my spouse, they are on their own timeline, and I think they are going to get the best results when they have their own awareness and then they are seeking the solution. Then things happen faster. Otherwise, I think you're pushing against a resistance where it just takes longer and it seems more frustrating. So I think self-awareness is the first step.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for asking this question, my friend, and Shri for answering this.
Yeah.
With this, I have another one. Like, please ask, ma'am, is there any role of the lifestyle which plays like great role to like overcome these blocks?
Yes. So lifestyle is absolutely important. But what does lifestyle mean? Lifestyle is your food, your thoughts, your exercise patterns, your sleeping patterns, the self talk that we have for ourselves. And again, if you're telling ourselves, oh, I can never do this, I can never heal, and if that's the thought behind us going into something, then the body is actually going to respond to it, because the body is staying true to what you believe. Now, this is nothing,
Yeah,
nobody's externally influencing it. You are influencing it. You're telling your body that you cannot, oh, I can't do this, I won't be able to heal, I will always be stuck. Then the body is going to respond to that. So those things matter. Of course, nutrients, if needed, supplements where necessary, um, joy, and like finding, waking up every day and finding something that meaningful, because those things also play into a role, because again, we have something to look forward to that's going to like keep us finding a bigger meaning for us to actually heal and show up in this world. So I think those things are definitely, the environment definitely plays. And I also want to share this, that another big thing that people stumble in their healing journey is that we can't heal in the same environment that made us sick. Now, this environment could be toxic people, toxic thoughts, true toxins in the environment, or toxic food, or whatever it is. We can't heal in the same place that made us, same environment or combination of factors that made us sick. Some things got to change, so we have to change those things to be able to heal. So it's then, otherwise it'll feel like two steps forward, one step backward. So that's why people feel stuck often. Can't hear you. uh, I can't hear you, your voice, you're on mute.
oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. That's a wonderful answer once again.
Yeah.
And with this, I've got another one. Like, if somebody is stuck in his journey, like though we know that it's a temporary block, how that person will identify that he's in a stuck state?
So I think there is no external meter. There is only our own internal barometer. If we feel we are progressing, then we are progressing. But if we feel like we are not, for example, I'm putting in 100% effort, but I'm not seeing results for those 100%. I'm rather feeling like I'm doing a lot, but I'm not really seeing improvement. Then I feel stuck, right? Then I feel demotivated that I'm doing so much, but I'm not getting to the place where I think I need to be. On the other hand, you can put in X percentage of effort and feel like you're on a more sustainable journey, and you feel like every day you're able to see some sort of improvement, and you're recognizing that you have better energy, better sleep, so you know you're getting in the right direction. Now the only person who can answer that is our own selves, because it's not through somebody else saying if I'm feeling stuck or not. It's just my own perception of what I'm doing and how I'm doing. Now this is what is also true, because no matter what the external world says, what we feel is true for us is what is true. Does not the reality does not matter. What I think is true is true. Now there are people that I've seen in my practice where they would have come a long way from like over the course of months, when then they'll constantly feel like they're not seeing improvement. But then we go back to the symptom questionnaire and see the improvement, then they will see. Because for some people it can be really hard to recognize how far they have come. I think it's important for people to like really first of all stay in gratitude of how much their body is changing, but also seeing the amount of efforts that they've put in and how far they have come by actually documenting the process, or taking or like just reflecting on how far they have come or where they began. So that those things are going to be helpful, but I think the only person who can answer that is our own individual
The
self,
self.
if I'm feeling stuck or not. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much once again. And with this, once again, I welcome our more audience here. So once again, starting from Arif, Gargi, Smiling Bubbles, Ram, and Sohil, Rachna, Roshan, Aman, Kabir. So thank you so much everyone for joining. And once again, this is an open platform for you to ask your questions related to that. If you feel that you want to ask something like why people get stuck in their healing journey, so you can just write your questions and she will answer. The expert, right? The one and only expert at this time, right? So, okay. So again, once again, there is another question. Is like, uh, do you think that suppressed emotions can cause that healing block, whether it is
Yes.
physical or emotional? And if
Yes,
yes, then
both.
how can you address them?
So suppressed emotion is again is absolutely a true root cause of disease. Even things like chronic diseases like autoimmune conditions, cancer, and things like that, they all have unaddressed emotions at the root of all of these things. Even in my own practice, especially because deal with a lot of clients who have autoimmune conditions, they have this is why I asked the question, what happened in their life just before they got diagnosed with this disease, or probably few months back, or probably up to a year back, what was going on in their life. That is going to most often than not, it relays the underlying emotion for that disease. So there is psychosomatic reasons behind diseases, absolutely. So that definitely is a real driver for disease. And how we can release that is like working with somebody who knows the psychosomatics of disease, or a trauma expert, and then help. And again, sometimes it's not possible for us to see our, even if you're a brain surgeon, you can't do the surgery on yourself, right? So it's helpful for somebody else to actually see our blind spots. Even if you are a trauma specialist, it's helpful for you to work with somebody else, so that what sometimes we know our own truth, but we don't want to like say yes to it, or we don't want to come up with we don't want to face the truth. So it's helpful to work with a trauma specialist who can actually help you release that and somatically help you release it, because whole body is holding on to it. So once we help identify that emotion first, and then address that emotion, then sometimes for people miraculously they start getting well within few days, few weeks. So it's absolutely helpful.
So, in other words, we can say that if you are like into this stuck state, and you recognize that you are in a stuck state, so better would be that you find a guide for yourself, and
Yeah.
you then actually you can move on, because the
Yeah.
guide knows the pros and cons, and the guide will actually give you the right direction.
Yes, because again,
So,
the where is the emotion? Emotion is basically energy in motion, like it is stuck somewhere, right? So now you're reading all of those things, but you're doing this from the brain. But the emotion is stuck in the body. So if you're trying to do this by yourself, you're not really going to see true resolution, or to the
yeah.
fact, or maybe to some extent, but you're not really going to be able to drop into your body and help release it, because you're thinking. you don't want to be thinking, you want to let your body do the thing, so you need somebody who's going to guide you or walk you through it, so that like you can relax and actually let the process unfold.
Right. Amazing. Once again, thank you so much for the wonderful answer.
Yeah.
And with this, I've got a question here. Like,
Yeah.
how does functional medicine approach the issue of feeling stuck in your healing journey?
So the first step is like identifying. So I can speak about what I do. So what first I start with is I do a thorough, detailed intake process, and then I have a set of recommended labs that I recommend to my all my clients. We start with blood labs, and then the first session I let them talk. Now, even during a discovery session, I let them talk a lot. I'm pretty sure most of clients who come to my sessions, they've never had this opportunity to share their symptoms and their journey in a way that they come and share. So people speaking their truth in itself is healing, because if you go to a doctor's appointment, now this is not to say that that model is bad or anything. This just serves a different purpose, right? The doctors don't have time for hours together to sit and actually listen to you. They're going to ask you what symptoms, then they write prescription, they give it to you, because they only have those 10-15 minutes of time. But when people actually, when you let them share and then they start realizing, I've had people who've had, oh, I think this is why probably I'm stuck. So they first of all have a platform to talk about their own health, their journey in a way that they've never shared to any human before. So even if you think with families, even if they're supportive, nobody sits and actually reflects or analyzes in a way. Or it's also about asking the right questions and helping people like really find their voice and share their truth, right? Like I think that in itself is healing, number one. But I also do the process of understanding, putting together, connecting the dots of what I have an in-depth intake process where it makes them think about things they probably have not thought about or probably what they think is normal to them. So it brings a lot of things to light, and my job here is like a detective to connect those dots and then see who they are as a person, what kind of environment they're living in, what kind of how they are actually talking about their journey, like what is their perception of their journey. So those all of those things are clues to me. So then I understand what are the factors that could be at play, and um, and then once we identify it, then we start making lifestyle changes. And I recommend certain supplements if needed. Again, supplements are just supplements, they don't replace lifestyle changes. But also getting to the true root cause, and for really complex cases we do additional functional medicine testing, where it's difficult to get it done through regular practitioner, because first they don't offer it, and then it's also not really common in the conventional world. So those advanced testings will help us understand what's going on, because we without actually, because instead of doing trial and error, we actually have real data to know what are the problems, and we start making those changes, not just the food part, not just the exercise part, but just beyond that, like the kind of self-talk that they have, their belief systems, their sleep, and who do they say yes to on a daily basis, things that are draining them, so many things. Because what everything that makes you you, or that like that is in your life right now, is either helping you move towards a state of health or towards a state of disease, right? Like it's a spectrum. So we have to remove things that are like obstacles. So this means like covering all aspects of life. So, and if needed, if I think they need more experts to deal with trauma, etc., then I send them to those people. But most likely, it's once people start speaking, it's easy to understand what is not just physical root causes but also emotional root causes. I also like talk through them through the psychosomatics of disease and see which of them they resonate with, and then sometimes those are things that they've never heard before, and they have an emotional they have a catharsis moment where they realize that okay, this is it, and then that can be a really breakthrough point for them, and then suddenly miraculously things start getting better. So um,
Yeah,
again, it depends on who this person is and what is driving their disease.
amazing. Thank you so much once again for explaining all this. With this, I've got a question here. ma'am is a functional medicine practitioner. So does she prefer any kind of medicine or what?
No, I don't use so functional medicine. I know that the term has medicine, but it is I don't prescribe any medication per se. In fact, I help my clients get off medication if they've been on diabetic
Yeah,
medication, thyroid medication, and statins and all of cholesterol medication for years. I help them get off
yeah,
that safely. But yes, no, the term has medicine, but I don't use medication. But yes, I do recommend supplements when necessary. But as long as they are just used for short term and for a specific purpose, but otherwise all through natural
wait.
herbs and food and stuff like that. You're on mute. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm listening to you. Okay, so my next question is like, uh, what do you think? What kind of like misconception people are, carrying about uh, this healing journey, and they actually feel that, okay, I should not move further.
Yeah, so misconceptions is that sometimes setting unrealistic goals and comparing your journey to the next person. So now this is where I say that there are people in your same household, and you
Hmm.
are eating the same food. You're probably doing the same things, but one person suddenly becomes diabetic or has a heart condition or autoimmune condition versus the other person didn't. This is where our bodies are so unique and are this like bio individuality. Like no two people are same. So we have to honor our own journey, our timeline, our body, and also understanding our own limits. Just because somebody is like fasting for 2 days and you're not used to fasting,
Yeah.
and if you're going to do that, it's going to shock your body. Now, similarly, like if somebody got lost their weight in like say 2 weeks or 2 months, and then you're struggling for a long period of time, I know it can be triggering and it can be disappointing, but we have to honor the fact that our body is different, our timeline is different, and sometimes people can give up because okay, somebody got results in X number of days and I didn't. That means it's not working. So I think that's the number one thing, because you cannot give up on yourself. It does not matter if it takes 3 months, 6 months, 3 weeks, does not matter. But if you say I give up, then what are you doing? Your body is going to respond with the same kind of response, right? Like if you're not
Yeah.
honoring your body, why should it respond with actually healing? So it's a two-way street. So um that we have to honor that.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much. And once again, welcome Abhinav, Rachna Roshan, Commerce Rama, Abhinav Arun. So, friends, we are now about to end the session. So, just want to tell you that if you have any question, you can ask. Though you're asking the questions, and this is related to why people feel stuck in their healing journey. So, if you have any question, you can ask. We have 4 5 minutes more, and you'll get the answer. So, thank you, Mashri, for answering this question as well. So, there is another question. Is like. If somebody is working in the journey of like the person is into the healing journey,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes they feel like, okay, I feel like giving up, I feel like
Mm,
I should quit.
mm.
So how can we actually motivate them, or what can you do for them, like so that they actually stay in the journey?
Yeah. It's a good question, and I'm sure each of us will face this kind of disappointment or demotivation at some point in our journey. Just the circumstances might be different for us. But I think the number one thing is actually honoring and validating what we are feeling, right? Like, yes, we are feeling
Yeah.
disappointed, and that's true and it's valid because we expected. I'm feeling disappointed because I expected XYZ, and also actually probably narrowing down why you're feeling disappointed. Sometimes the disappointment can be true, or sometimes the disappointment can be because people around us are kind of reflecting that onto us, and sometimes we don't know what is our own beliefs and thoughts versus what is borrowed from the world around us, right? So we don't want to get into that entanglement. We want to really understand, okay, why am I disappointed? And yes, because if either was it because I did not put in the effort and I couldn't commit as much as I did, or because I'm doing all the things but I'm not seeing results and it's really disappointing, because that is really valid. that if you're not able to, if you're putting in all the efforts and you're not seeing the results, it can be disappointing. So the best thing to do is acknowledge that and probably just take a step back, and instead of constantly trying and jumping from one thing to the other, like just take a step back and maybe not think about this thing for a few days. Then that is going to actually give us some answers or insights or next intuitive nudge to know what we need to do. I do believe that all of us have the answers, like, but it's just muddled up between
Yeah.
everything, that the noise from the outer world. So we have to kind of maybe stepping back can help us bring more clarity, and also gives us a break instead of chronically constantly chasing the solution. Like it's relaxing to like not look for answers or solutions or constantly do. I think that might help somebody bring back their motivation, and also understanding, okay, why am I doing this in the first place? Why did I start? So that is also going to take us back to finding our motivation and understanding maybe if things have changed or if our priorities have changed, and why we are doing this in the first place. Those things can bring us back into kind of slowly easing back into the journey again, instead of like,
Yeah.
the journey in itself should not become stressful. Then it is, I mean, it
Yeah.
can be stressful to an extent, but that will only slow us down further.
Also, just to add on, they should understand that process takes time,
Yeah,
right? Instead of
absolutely.
giving up, because if you are, planting something, then it takes, there's a
Yeah,
process, and
yeah,
within a day you can't expect that, okay, you are, now you should move, like you are here and you want to move to the 20th floor from
yeah.
ground floor, not possible. So
Absolutely. And I
process takes
sometimes
time.
tell people that like it takes 9 months for a child to actually take birth and like fully develop and come out. And similarly, if we get a fracture, it takes few weeks or months for it to heal. So it takes time for your gut or anything to heal. Like we have to allow that healing process. And this is where like setting realistic expectation and not comparing, oh, that person had their baby in 7 months, so I should also do, like that's not a practical way to approach things, right? So similarly is applicable for our healing journey as well. So for some people it can take even a day, we don't know, but for some people, because there are people who have spontaneous healing and remission, but for others it can take months. But the point is, we cannot give up on ourselves.
Yes. Okay, so two more questions.
Yeah.
So one thing is like, there are people who say, who ask like, why should I start my healing journey? So they are actually, quite familiar with the pain, and they want to be like, they are living happily with the pain,
Mm. Mm.
and it is really difficult to approach them like, okay, you should actually get rid of this stress or get rid of this
Yeah.
obstacle. But they are
Yeah.
quite familiar. They know, they say, okay, I'm familiar with this pain and I'm okay with this.
Mm. Mm.
Like, what to do or how to
Yeah,
handle
there are
those people.
two components to this. Like I said before, if somebody is not ready, they're just not ready. Like we can only take the horse to water, we can't make it drink, right? So we
Yeah.
can show them the path, but they have to choose the path. They want to be on this path, right? So if they don't know they need healing, then probably they're not ready for it. So, and sometimes the more we tell them they need healing, in my experience, it backfires and they develop more resistance to it, even though they might know or get indications that, oh, maybe this is true. But because somebody is telling them constantly that, hey, you need this, you need this, you need this, it can deter people from actually jumping on that journey. And for some people, they have to like hit their rock bottom where they cannot tolerate this anymore, and then they jump forward. So people are different. Some people like to be proactive, but that's just one small percentage of the population. Most people will take action only when they cannot tolerate this anymore, and they have reached this point where their pain of staying the same is bigger than the pain of changing, right? So people don't want to get on this healing journey because change is uncomfortable, and change means it is going to cause a little bit of difficulty in the short term. But if they can't see the long term gain yet, then they are not ready. So, and sometimes if I tell you that, hey, don't talk like this, don't do this, you're going to want to do more of it. So when we go tell people, hey, you have to do healing, they're going to have more resistance to it, and they're going to shut down, shut you out. So it's better that people come to their own realization. Of course, we can educate, but it's up to them to know what to take in, and they are on their own timeline and journey. Like they need to want this. That's when their body is also going to respond to it.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. And the last question of the session is like any final tip you want to give to the people who are watching us now and who will be watching us later, so like they can start their journey.
Yeah, so one thing that I want to say is that, like, being open and curious instead of going into this downward spiral. Yes, sometimes it can, especially when we have a symptom or diagnosis, like it can feel like the world is, like our world is crushing. But just allowing that to happen, but then also like taking a step back and getting curious and open, and okay, why am I here? What got me here? And then getting being true to ourselves, and that is one thing. And second thing, like always, never not believing yourself, right? Like we have to not, even if the fight is hard, like we have to fight it out. Like if we don't fight for ourselves and for our body, like who is going to do it? Like nobody else can do it the way you do it, right? So that's just one. Second, and I think everybody need to understand a little bit about the basics of what needs to be true for them to be healthy. Now, those unique factors, they are going to be different for each of us. This is where actually understanding and being in tune with the body. Okay, when I eat this food, what happens to me? When I talk to this person, how do I feel? And when I exercise in the morning, how do I feel? How do I feel when I don't sleep enough? Getting in tune with those things, that is important.
Yeah.
And so so once we actually truly understand our body, then we don't fall for these gimmicks or influencer trends or just this thing. Because this is where I also like social media is a boon, but sometimes people just watch a 10-second clip and think that is the solution, or that is the one that's killing them. So they have such extreme opinions by just looking at a 10-second clip, and what is true for somebody may not be true for you. So I think each of us should
Yeah.
understand about our bodies, so that we are well informed and we don't sway or let our minds do the job of questioning everything. Oh, am I sick? Am I this? Am I that? And also having this confidence that, okay, I can heal from anything. So this is what I would say as a basic. And if somebody is interested, I have this like recorded program. It's a small program called Metabolism Mastery, where I talk about cellular health. Another thing that I wanted to share you, but probably we're running out of time, I talk something about cell danger response. Like this is the reason why we all fall sick, no matter what disease or it is, if it's be it low energy, be it cancer. So this is the thing that is driving the disease. So if we don't have healthy cells, we don't have healthy tissues, if we don't have healthy organs, we don't have a healthy body. So the health of those cells is important. And what do we need to do to keep it healthy? Once we understand that, then I think like we have understood the human body. So I think that's what I want to say. If somebody's interested, they can reach out to me for the link. I'm happy to share it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So now, friends, we are reaching to the end of the session, and with this, first of all, I just want to give a big thank you to every one of you who joined us today in the live. So, my friends, your presence, your questions, and participation actually made the session even more enriching. So, just only remember that healing is not a linear path, and it's okay to face challenges, because a lot of people, they feel that, "Hey, okay, these are challenges, why should I go and discuss with someone?" So it's okay if you're feeling like facing challenges, you can actually take help, take support, and find a guide for yourself.
Yeah.
So because what matters for you is like you keep moving forward with patience and trust in the process and the person you are connecting with, right?
100%.
And once again, thank you so much,
Thank
Sri,
you.
for joining us today and
Yes.
sharing your incredible wisdom with all of us, your insights into like why people feel stuck in the healing journey and actually how to overcome those obstacles. It's been, truly eye-opening. So your
Thank you so
knowledge of,
much.
functional medicine and how it integrates with personal growth and healing is invaluable. And
Thank you
once again,
so
I'm
much.
so grateful for your time and your expertise. And thank you so much once again for accepting the proposal and coming here.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity and thanks for everyone who kept this conversation very engaging with their questions and participation. Very glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So if today's session, friends, if today's session actually resonated with you, then don't hesitate to reach out to share your thoughts. And if you want to connect with Sri, once this session will be over, I will tag her in the video in this session, in this live, so you can connect with her directly. And if there will be any link, I'll share that in the comment box, so you can directly reach out to her. And let me tell you that if you're actually thinking about starting your healing journey, if you feel that you're stuck somewhere, then she is the best. So
Thank
connect
you
with
so
her,
much.
and you will actually get the result. And she's an incredible person, incredible personality, and a practitioner, right?
Thank you
So,
so much.
uh, yeah. So I'll be back with more exciting talks soon. So stay tuned. Wishing all of you continued growth and healing. And till next time, take care, stay healthy. Goodbye
Thank
and
you.
namaste.
Have a good day. Bye bye.